Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
A rumor is growing fast that Robert Downey Jr. is having trouble on the set of his new Avengers film with Ryan Reynolds.
Forget the plot twists on screen. The real scandal might be unfolding behind the cameras. Insiders are whispering about tension between Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds on the set of Avengers: Doomsday.
Mr. Stark, please.
Yes, dear.
Can I have your attention?
Absolutely.
One built the Marvel empire, the other turned Deadpool into box office gold. Together, they should be unstoppable. Instead, egos, reshoots, and secret rewrites may be turning Marvel's most ambitious project into its messiest gamble yet.
Marvel knows he's going to bring fans in and they're going to want to see his next portrayal of a Marvel character. Now, Snyder is comparing this atmosphere of egos similar to the one of Fast and the Furious, where Vin Diesel and The Rock had sort of a lot of creative differences. The dysfunction I've heard on Doomsday is rival to that of Fast and the Furious. I mean, we've alluded to an incident behind the scenes earlier this year that I don't want to go into details on, and it was probably more, someone made it sound more dramatic to me than it actually was. But yeah, I think, again, there's just a lot of testosterone, a lot of ego on that set. A lot of people who think they know what way is the best way. In the end, there's only one person's way who matters, and that's Robert Downey Jr.
The story first gained traction after Reynolds fueled speculation about his Avengers involvement in a very unusual way. Out of nowhere, he dropped a logo teasing Deadpool's connection to the film, timed almost exactly with Taylor Swift's much-hyped album countdown. Whether coincidence or a calculated stunt, the internet went into meltdown.
Let's break down what we know, okay, and what's being rumored. I wanted to go back. So in order to start the story, it's important to remind you of a story we did previously where Ryan Reynolds kind of out of nowhere fueled the speculation that he's going to be in Avengers, and he dropped this logo on his Instagram literally the night that Taylor Swift was doing a countdown for her new album. It was very weird. It was in the middle of the night, at the same time. It really did look like he was trying to beat the algorithm and get his name out there with Avengers stories, which he did. And so this rumor started running rampant.
Overnight, rumors of Deadpool's appearance in Doomsday flooded social media, and questions about how Reynolds would fit into the already crowded Avengers lineup took over fan forums. Now, with Downey confirmed to return and whispers of rewrites behind the scenes, speculation has turned into something bigger, a possible power struggle that could rival Marvel's own on-screen battles.
Please, no gang signs. No, throw it up, I'm kidding. Yeah, peace. I love peace. I'll be out of a job with peace.
When Robert Downey Jr. agreed to return for Avengers Doomsday, it wasn't just a casting decision, it was a deal that shook Hollywood. Sources say Marvel shelled out between $50 to $60 million to bring him back. And with that kind of paycheck comes undeniable power.
I am Iron Man.
And what do you say to your other nickname, the Merchant of Death?
That's not bad.
Downey isn't just another actor showing up to read lines. He's the cornerstone of Marvel's legacy, the face audiences never thought they'd see again. Which means if he wants something changed, Marvel listens. And that's exactly where the tension starts to brew.
The internet runs rampant. Two major stars clashed on set, leading to more reshoots than planned, is what this is. Streets are saying Ryan Reynolds and RDJ fought on the Doomsday set. Nowhere has anyone said that Ryan Reynolds was the reason. And it's unclear how much Ryan would even be in this movie.
Word spread that Downey wasn't happy with how certain scenes were filmed. But here's the kicker. Allegedly, Marvel tried to cut corners by using body doubles in a Dr. Doom suit, while Downey recorded his lines off camera. After a few weeks, though, he reportedly shut it down, demanding reshoots with him physically in the role. That meant weeks of production delays, millions more spent, and rising frustration across the set. Fans have seen this movie before, figuratively. Big-budget productions often collapse under the weight of their own egos. Think of Fast and Furious, where Vin Diesel and The Rock's feud became legendary. And just when you thought Marvel would avoid that trap, it seems the studio is tiptoeing into the same storm, with Downey holding all the cards.
Marvel knows he's going to bring fans in and they're going to want to see his next portrayal of a Marvel character. Now, Snyder is comparing this atmosphere of egos similar to the one of Fast and the Furious, where Vin Diesel and The Rock had sort of a lot of creative differences. The dysfunction I've heard on Doomsday is rival to that of Fast and the Furious. I mean, we've alluded to an incident behind the scenes earlier this year that I don't want to go into details on, and it was probably more, someone made it sound more dramatic to me than it actually was. But yeah, I think, again, there's just a lot of testosterone, a lot of ego on that set. A lot of people who think they know what way is the best way. In the end, there's only one person's way who matters, and that's Robert Downey Jr.
The whispers started small, but they spread fast. Reshoots weren't just about costumes or creative choices. They were about ego collisions. Insiders began hinting that Doomsday was turning into Marvel's own behind-the-scenes battleground, with tensions reaching a level fans compared to the Vin Diesel versus The Rock drama. At the center of it all, the unlikely duo of Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds' late addition to the film fueled speculation. Deadpool, the wisecracking outsider, isn't designed to play by Avengers rules, and Reynolds himself is known for poking fun at everything, even his co-stars. But wait until you hear this.
But going through Jeff's sort of breakdown of what's happening, and, Ryan Reynolds being inserted in this movie kind of last minute, it's not out of the realm of possibility that that could be part of the problem.
Some reports claim a joke delivered in just the wrong way might have crossed a line with Downey, sparking a confrontation that threw Marvel's schedule into chaos.
Here's what John said regarding the on-set clash.
I've heard that a clash between two particular actors became so heated that certain scenes involving their respective characters had to be altered or removed from the script entirely. Who are the actors that are fighting?
Oh, I'm not going to say that.
You know?
No, I do know, yes. And they are two pretty big actors. And apparently a comment, from what I understand, the comment was made in jest that was a bit too familiar because these actors didn't know each other that well and crossed the line. And one of the actors got really upset about it, confronted the other actor.
Other insiders suggest it wasn't just words, but entire scenes that had to be rewritten or shot separately to keep the peace. That kind of decision doesn't come cheap. Millions of dollars spent simply to avoid two A-listers sharing the same frame. Here's where it gets wild. Marvel, desperate to keep its golden comeback intact, allegedly bent over backwards to accommodate both men. And just like that, what began as fan speculation about cameos turned into full-blown rumors of a Hollywood power struggle. Once whispers of a feud hit the internet, fans took the rumor and ran with it.
Said it in jest like publicly, or said it in jest like behind the scenes?
On the set.
Okay.
And that caused a big rift and battle, and I'm just going to leave it at two very outspoken actors went at each other. And from what I understand and what I was told, one of the actors was, Marvel said, we'll shoot your scene separately, or we'll shoot scenes without the other actor in it.
Suddenly, theories flooded social media. Was Reynolds' sarcastic humor the spark? Did Downey demand Marvel rewrite entire scenes just to avoid him? Meme accounts lit up with side-by-sides of Deadpool's wisecracks and Iron Man's stoic glare, while fan forums argued over who would come out on top if Marvel really had to pick sides. But the real shock came later, because not everyone believes Ryan Reynolds is the actor at the heart of this tension. Another name kept bubbling up online, Pedro Pascal, who's also set to appear in Doomsday. With his skyrocketing profile after The Last of Us and The Mandalorian, Pascal has become one of Hollywood's busiest and most in-demand stars. Some insiders claim his packed schedule, last-minute changes, and creative input may have clashed with Downey's control over the production. The result? A fan-driven guessing game. Was it Reynolds, Pascal, or someone else entirely who pushed Downey to the edge? And here's where speculation turned into chaos. Marvel isn't saying a word, but every day of silence only fuels the fire. What fans do know is simple. Doomsday might be Marvel's most chaotic movie before it even hits theaters. For Marvel, the stakes couldn't be higher. Avengers. Doomsday isn't just another superhero flick, it's meant to be the studio's grand reset, a chance to prove it can still dominate the box office after a rocky string of underperforming projects. Bringing Robert Downey Jr. back was supposed to be the ultimate insurance policy, the face of the franchise returning to restore Marvel's golden age. Add in Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and Pedro Pascal's growing star power, and this movie had all the ingredients for a billion-dollar hit. Things escalated faster than anyone expected, but that star-studded recipe may be the very thing working against it. Unlike the original Avengers saga, which spent years building character arcs across standalone films, Doomsday seems to be throwing every A-lister into the pot at once, without the groundwork to support them. Too many egos, too many storylines, and too many expectations could tip the balance from cinematic event to chaotic overload. That's why rumors of tension between Downey and Reynolds hit so hard. The deeper you dig, the stranger it gets. If Marvel's biggest gamble turns into a behind-the-scenes disaster, the fallout won't just affect one film. It could damage the studio's reputation for years to come. At this point, the question isn't just whether the rumors are true, it's whether Marvel can survive them. Fans don't want to believe Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds could be feuding, but the pattern is hard to ignore. Costly reshoots, whispers of separated filming schedules, and a storyline that seems to be straining under the weight of too many stars. Here's where the cracks really start to show. Add Pedro Pascal into the mix, and suddenly, Doomsday feels less like a carefully planned epic, and more like Marvel's biggest gamble yet. And here's the thing about Hollywood rumors. They don't need to be confirmed to do damage. The mere idea that Marvel's crown jewel could be cracking from the inside is enough to stir doubt among fans who already feel burned by recent missteps. And what happened next had fans stunned. Whether or not Downey and Reynolds clashed, the perception of chaos could hurt just as much as the reality. So now we're left with the million-dollar question: is Avengers Doomsday destined to be Marvel's triumphant comeback, or its most expensive disaster? Fans are already choosing sides online, but what about you? Do you buy the rumors of a feud, or is this just internet noise gone viral?